Well, it's Sunday, so I'm taking it a bit easy today. I had a heavy duty day yesterday, so I thought I'd relax and just run another pot of wax. What I wanted to mention today is, have you ever come to met with a friend or whatever who offers you a deal that's just too good to be true? That's usually your first clue. Somebody offers you something for a price that's crazy. It's just too cheap. But the trick is you gotta move it, and you gotta move it right away. Well, the first thing your brain says is, great, yeah, let's take it, and your mouth starts saying, sure, oh, I'm in for that, that's a super deal. After a few moments, your brain starts to catch up with the whole thing and say, how on earth am I ever gonna do this? Like, this is nuts. Well, this is what happened to me yesterday. A neighbor who's moving had built a small barn shed that they were going to keep a few pigs in. Now the shed's only 8 by 16, so it's okay, not that big, fair enough. But it's made out of sawn lumber from a local sawmill. The floors are 4 inches thick, so that there would be no give or anything when the animals were in there, and pigs can get to be pretty big. The walls are made out of sawn lumber, all rough sawn lumber, all new. The inner walls are all rough sawn lumber, and all the 2x4s would be, because they're off a sawmill, are also 2 inches by 4 inches because they've never been planed or anything. So this thing is a beast. It's heavy, it's large, it's awkward. There's a big window on the side of it, so you can't be twisting it around too much because you sure don't want to break that fairly decent window. So the project yesterday was, how do we get this thing out of here within the time limit so that we get the deal? So why don't you come along with me and see how we did it in 5 hours. In the Great White North, the biggest industry around here mostly is logging. And the people who do logging generally have some very cool and some very big toys. So that's how we managed all this project. And let's go see how it happened, because it, like I said, it only took 5.5 hours from the time I went over and started working until the time we had it sitting here leveled up on blocks. So this is it right now. Alright, so this is most of the preparation here. As you can see, all that roof section, there's a bit on both sides. Light's still up there. Bit of a roof on both sides. But there's probably 4 feet on each side and a good 8 feet open in the middle. And then what we've done is cut holes, and you can see on that hole down there I've placed a 4x4. That 4x4 is the length of the shed. There's one of these holes in each of the 4 corners of the building. It's about 2 feet back from each end and approximately the same distance in from the sides. And there's a 4x4, you can just see the tip of that 4x4. There's a 4x4 under each side of the building, the full length for support. What we're going to do is loop a chain down through there around that 4x4. It will of course be pulled up past the edge of the hole, I'm missing here, so that it goes up to the front, but I left it pulled back a little bit so I can more easily loop the chain around it. And then we'll pull the 4x4 forward, and then we'll second chain on this one. It's already pushed a bit too far forward, but they slide back fairly easily. There's just enough clearance there to make that okay. And then we'll do the same thing over here You see the other end of that 4x4 there, and again there. There's a few bits and pieces of boards I haven't cleared out yet from cutting out these stalls and so on. I don't really want the stalls in here, so I may keep one of them. Maybe this one here is reasonably solid and not a bad size, and I may use that for storing some of my bear hunting supplies and so on. But either way, so this is what we've done. So now what we'll have basically is a loop of chain that comes up and around and down to that other 4x4 on this end, and the same loop that will go here, up and around and down to here. So what we'll do is have some chain loops that will level off just above the height of the stall that I've cut off. Then we'll take a long log, a big log from my buddy's supply, and we'll run it lengthwise down the cabin and loop the chain over it on each end. And so that way we'll have attached one end of the cabin crossways, this way, to the other end of the cabin or building crossways this way, with a big log up the middle. That log's about 1 foot in diameter. It's a big heavy duty log, and that log makes it easier for the grapple on the self-loader to grab something. It could grab the chain or whatever, but it's designed to grab logs, so that's what we're going to use. And then the loader itself will come down through the opening here, through the ceiling, what used to be, where the roof is no longer, and it will come down here, and that log will be roughly about this height, right about there, and that grapple will grab it, and we'll end up having to swing the grapple back and forth just end to end a little bit to get the balance. And that's it. That will have more than enough strength to lift it, so as long as we've got the balance, we've spread the width of the supports underneath apart far enough that there won't be any tipping possible. And of course we'll have guide chains and anchor cables and so on, so there'll be no danger there. So all we have to do is get a hold of that log with the grapple, move the grapple back and forth from the front to the rear direction a little bit, enough to get the balance, and we should be able to lift this straight up and straight out of here. And then when it comes time to bring it home, we'll do exactly the same thing in reverse. There's already some area laid out at home for where we're going to put this, so that'll be perfect. All we have to do is minor leveling as it sort of settles into the ground slightly. So you know, we may have to adjust it by an inch or so. I want it level front to back and side to side. It's going to probably heave a little bit anyways as the ground freezes and thaws in the winter and summer, but at least start off in a good shape so that if we do have to do any minor leveling each year, it's only going to be the thickness of maybe a board, you know, 1 inch or something. So I'm afraid I didn't get much more time to do any of this stuff, but that's what I've been doing for 3 hours. And then when the truck gets here, well, you'll see what happens next. Time to get down and get it done, and then when we get it home, I'll start removing these stalls mostly. Alright, I'll carry on. Like a glass this way? Alright. Cut your ladder. Okay. No, it's going to be over further. I'm going to try and throw you. Kind of like that. Look at that support arm just so right into the ground. Yeah, you're on the far side, but you missed it on this side. You gotta give it a little turn.
This side?
That corner comes this way. Okay. Can you come back? All right?
I won't.
Back about just a bit. Okay. Good.
See, Paul? It's on the front tire, but at the back, it's on
Oh, yeah. Okay. I think that with the dirt, it should be okay.
Oh, we didn't remove the dirt.
Okay?
We didn't remove the dirt in the front.
This is good.
Hey, Paul, you want me to go down?
No, it's okay. Go up 1 inch. Up 1 inch. Okay.
So is that? You want to use your level? You want to put the level? Hey, it's time to lift it up because if we don't just get the chain inside one end, the other end, put it square.
Hang on. Sit. Sit. Well, the job is finished. here we are. Everybody that was involved lived to tell the tale. It was a brutal day because we've had 30 plus, 35, mid-30s temperatures here for weeks, which is extremely unusual for us. We rarely get stuff more than, you know, in the mid to upper 20s. So, and the humidity and the dryness has been terrible. But anyway, job's done. I just want to say a couple things here. One of them is that there's not a lot of content on the preparation, and the preparation was about 4.5 hours of the 5 or 5.5 hours of the total move. The reason for that is that above and beyond anything, safety has to be absolutely first and foremost. Every single thing that you do, you have to think out carefully. Every hookup, every chain, every strap, everything that has to be attached has to be triple checked and then checked again just to be sure. People don't get hurt lifting things like big loads like this, they get killed. So, you know, there's no second chances. You get it right the first time or, you know, it's a bad deal. Everybody involved in this, or basically the two of us, you know, has years and years of experience doing heavy lifting with big machinery. This is not something to try messing around with yourself. You know, it's definitely a job for professionals with training because, like I said, you know, this can be extremely dangerous. That brings us to the reason why there's not much content on that preparation. I had to remove a large section of the roof and other things that involved hoists and lifts and chainsaws, and there was just no way. I was working mostly on my own with a young helper there. There's no way you can video and pay attention to what you're doing and pay attention to trying to get all the shots on the video. And as I said, with chainsaws and so on and lifting off sections of roof, you have to focus on what you're doing. It's just not worth it. So I'm sorry that there wasn't more content on the actual preparation, but you know, I just didn't have anybody else to help with the camera. So that completes this project. I'll have to put another roof back on it, or portions of it. It's level and set to go, and that's going to make my wife happy. She wants to use it at least partly as a potting shed and so on, and some storage. So I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please share it. Click like on it. If you haven't already, I'd appreciate it if you subscribed. And everybody have a good day, stay safe, and we'll see you the next time we're on a project. Have a good one.